Hey everybody, welcome back to Cascadia Dispatch, Prepping for Non-Preppers. I'm Casey, and in today's video, we are going to talk about the stimulus checks that are coming. They just got voted in last night. They're going to be signed into law in the next few days. Likely they will be in our bank accounts, supposedly, according to Secretary Mnuchin, early next week. So with this money coming in, possibly unexpected, what can you do with it to increase your preparedness and help you and your family on your preparedness journey? Before we dive into the tips, if you wouldn't mind just stimulating the subscribe and the like button for the YouTube algorithm, we'd really appreciate that. Also, the Prepper adjacent gear is available now. I've got a link in the description down below. It really helps out support the channel and allow us to purchase things to review and things to add to the video quality and all that kind of stuff. So again, thanks in advance. If you like the design, let us know. We have some more designs coming out in the next few months. So keep an eye out for that. And with that, we are on to the tips. So in this video, I know with things like stimulus and all this kind of stuff, there's a lot of politics involved, and I am not going to talk about the politics. If you want to talk about the politics, you can talk about it in the comments down below. Feel free, let us know if you like it, you don't like it. I know a lot of people are going to like it. I know a lot of people are not going to like it. I'm not commenting on that. What I want to talk about is this money is coming to you, and if you wanted to use it for preparedness reasons, what are some ways that you can do that to help boost your family up and move down your preparedness journey? So the first tip that I've got is if your family is in dire need, if you're in an emergency situation, there are lots of families that are in that spot, use this money for that. This is not a, well, we got this money, and although we're in a really horrible position, I'd really like to get, a new GPS or something like that. Use this money and take care of your family, and don't even worry about everything else that we're going to talk about. Also, there are lots and lots of programs that are included in the original stimulus bill, the CARES Act, and the revised CARES Act, and then also in this stimulus bill to cover a lot of different needs and use cases. I've actually spent a lot of time researching and trying to figure out what all those programs are because I have a lot of friends that are in a lot of different situations and they tend to come to me and ask me questions. So I've done a lot of research into all of the different programs and how to qualify for things and how to get help if you need it. So if that's the sort of information that you would also be curious about, leave that in the comments down below. Finance and personal finance is one of those things that I really enjoy and kind of do on the side. I don't really talk about it a whole lot in these videos, or haven't up till this point. But I think in 2021, one of my goals is to start to talk about that a little bit more, ways to build up your emergency funds, to be more financially stable in case of an emergency, thinking about the investing side of things like that. So anyway, that's coming in 2021. But if you have questions about things like the rental assistance or mortgage forbearance and things like that that could help you and your family get through this time, feel free to leave in the comments below and we can talk about it. The second tip, if you are not in that dire situation, would be to extend your food preps. When the lockdowns first went into effect back in March, there were lots of people that ran to the grocery store, shelves were empty, people were talking about how they couldn't find food. There were a lot of people in the comments below that were talking about even if they could find food, they didn't have the money to go out and buy extra food because they were living paycheck to paycheck, or they were behind, or whatever their financial situation was. It wasn't feasible for them. This is an opportunity where some extra money is likely going to come in. And if you don't need it for those emergency situations, emergency right now, you can use that to then go out and buy some additional food. For a family of 4, the stimulus checks will likely be $2,400, $600 per person. The average grocery bill for a month for a family of 4 is just under $900. So in theory, you could actually use the stimulus check and get 2 months of food and have a little bit left over for some of the things we're going to talk about in 3 and 4. But if you wanted to, you could also spend half of that. That average grocery number is likely going to include things like fresh produce and fresh meat, which are going to be way more expensive. And so when you're talking about food storage, you're talking about canned items or shelf-stable items. Those are going to be lower cost and also last longer. So you can likely get more food for less money going that route and actually extend out and get 2, 3, 4 months worth of shelf-stable food pretty easily with the amount of money that you're going to be getting in the stimulus check. Number 3 is using tools for leverage. This is one of my favorite things, kind of from a financial perspective, is trying to find ways to invest money into tools and items that will help us get even further ahead. So by putting $1 in, we're getting $2, $3, $4 out. The first thing on that list would be getting a Sam's Club or Costco membership. These are obviously wholesale clubs. I've talked about the joys of Costco in many videos, but you pay the membership and then you have the opportunity to buy these food items and other items at much lower cost than you would at retail. Over the year, likely you will save more by shopping at Costco or Sam's Club than you would for paying the membership, and so your savings will basically net out against your membership fee. For us, we actually save way more than what we spend every year on our membership, so we end up ahead on the deal. This is another opportunity for you to take whatever money you would take from that stimulus check, put it into a Costco membership, and actually save more in your net amount than you would if you just spent it at the grocery store. The other tools that I would like to look at, or I would encourage you to look at, would be ways to extend your food storage. Things like vacuum savers, canning supplies, chest freezers. These are items that you can get. Chest freezers are anywhere from $200 to $600 depending on the size and how much demand there is and where you can get them from. Canning supplies, you can get a pressure canner or a water bath canner for between $100 and $200 with all the supplies. And then a vacuum sealer is probably gonna run you about $100 to $200 again, depending on which brand and which model. Purchasing these tools allows you to either buy food in bulk, whether it's from farmers markets when it's in season and less expensive, whether it's by going to Costco or cash and carry or ordering bulk online, Azure Standard or something like that, getting bulk food and then storing it, whether it's freezing it, vacuum sealing it and putting it in Mylar bags, or canning it to extend that food out. So you begin to build your own prepper pantry of items that you've made, but have the tools to do it. If you don't have the tools to do it, you have to go and pay retail for a can or retail for a jar of food. If you have the tools and you can make it yourself, you save a whole lot of money. So this is another opportunity where maybe you spend $100 on a vacuum saver, but because you can get meat less expensive on sale, vacuum save it and put it in a chest freezer, you're actually gonna save more money in the long run over the course of a year or 2 years than you would in spending that money on just the food as it was. The third tip I've got is establishing an emergency fund. If you don't have an emergency fund, you need to have one. And if you do, you can always make it bigger. So after you've kind of looked at what you wanna spend money on, I would highly encourage you to set aside a certain amount of this stimulus money to go to an emergency fund. We don't know if there's gonna be another round of stimulus at any point, and we don't know what is gonna happen in the future as far as with the virus and everything else. So even if you don't need it right now, putting it aside for a time when you might need it in the future. I know a lot of people that didn't lose their job right at the beginning of the pandemic, but then toward the end did lose their job, and then unemployment had changed, and so they were trying to figure out what to do. Now is the opportunity, if you have that money, to put some aside and save it for a rainy day or a pandemic day or an earthquake day or whatever kind of disaster day you have potentially on the horizon. As far as the amount goes, there's lots of different schools of thought on that. Dave Ramsey always is talking about starting with $1,000 and then moving to 3 months of an emergency fund. I know a lot of people that shoot for a 6-month emergency fund. You're not gonna get 3 to 6 months likely out of a $2,400 or a $600 stimulus check. But you might be able to get $1,000, or you might be able to put $600 away as part of it, or you might just put 25% away. Make sure that you've got, some money set aside for food if things get tight and you've got to pay rent. You're not deciding between food and rent or something like that. But having some set aside will give you some stability and a little less anxiety. You're still gonna have anxiety, you're still gonna have stress, but it'll be a little bit less maybe if you do have some money that's set aside for an emergency purpose. So again, the personal finance piece of this is something I really, really enjoy. I really like I run my own business, and figuring out how to use money to better my family is something that I have always been interested and passionate about, and then helping other people that I know do the same thing. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a stock trader. I'm not certified in any way other than I got my degree in finance. So I do know some things, but a lot of it is my own research and spending time going through things. So if that's something that you guys would be interested also in hearing about, ways to save money, ways to better set up your family for financial success and financial preparation, again, leave it in the comments down below. I'm setting up topics for kind of the 2021 slate of videos, and I really am looking forward to putting some of those in as well. So the fifth tip I have, and really it's not so much a tip as it is just an ask, is if you can, as you're going through all of these different items and ideas and tips and tricks and that sort of thing, spend a little bit of the money if you can locally. We all hear about small business and the importance of small business and how much small businesses are hurting right now. So if there's a way that in doing what you need to do, you can help support local businesses, small businesses, and help them out, it would really be appreciated, I know, by that community. I'm, as I said, a small business owner myself. So any way that you can help locally, sure, everyone's gonna buy stuff from Amazon and Target and Costco. And like a lot of people have said, they're gonna be fine. But if you can find a way to help and support small businesses with at least some of your stimulus money, that would probably go a long way for helping that business. So that is gonna do it for today's video. I hope you found these tips helpful. Like I said, we weren't talking about politics. We're talking about you're magically getting some money and what do you do with it to help your preparedness. Some people may want to take it on a trip, and great for them and everything else. But if you're looking for ways of boosting your preparation and you have this money coming in, hopefully these tips helped to give you some focus and guidance on some next steps that you could do going forward. If you like this sort of content, and again, if you have ideas for the 2021 slate, please go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button again. Leave those suggestions in the comments down below. I try to comment back to everybody who leaves a comment, unless it's like a crazy comment, but we've had some of those. Maybe we need to do a video on like the best comments I've ever received sort of a situation. But anyway, let us know down below. Really appreciate it. I'm hoping to maybe get one more video out before the end of the year, but if we don't talk to you by the end of the year, I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season, and we'll see you in 2021. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you soon.